Then one thing my pops, he's been telling me since I was in high school, but he just say, you belong, man. Just kind of just breathing that life into me. And, I always felt that way, but it's like in my mind, I always not doubted myself, but I was always like uber hard on myself, like, dang, like, I got to make that play, this and that, you know what I'm saying? But, I've come to kind of give myself some grace, like, man, I've put in the work, I've done a lot of stuff, and I can make plays, and, I belong, and, I can help this team win.
The Next Man Up podcast is presented by Lansdowne Resort. From kickoff to check-in, score a game-changing getaway in the heart of Loudon. Lansdowne Resort, proud partner of the Washington Commanders. Welcome in, Commanders family, to Next Man Up. Sitting next to me right now is our rookie, but he's looked really, really good this season. Jaylin Lane. What's good, brother?
What's going on, fam? How you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. Like I said, you look good this season, but it's not just being a receiver, because that's something you're still working towards. Yeah. But that special teams aspect, you and Luke have been able to become one of the better return tandems that we've seen in this league, man. How cool has that been to be able to step into a role that maybe you necessarily didn't know that you would be playing in and be able to rise to the occasion?
Yeah, it's real cool, man. I feel like we take a lot of pride in special teams, just on the team, and you can just see it by the energy and the effort that the guys provide. No matter kickoff return, punt return, just in the return game, the guys, they go out and bust their tails, and me and Luke, we kind of just feed off that Debo early in the season. It's just try to bring that spark to the team.
How do you stay ready for those moments? Because you mentioned yourself, Debo was there at one point. It seems as if, especially lately, man, your number's just been called in a bunch of different ways, man. How is that being ready? Because it didn't happen right off the rip.
Yeah.
It took some time, but now it seems like you're getting opportunity after opportunity.
I think I'm starting to realize just like how important those practice reps are to help you mentally. Because obviously, I always practice hard, but you got to treat every rep in practice like it is in the game. And so it's like you're just stealing reps for the game. Just kind of think of it like that. So when the game time comes, like you see me make a play or Debo, anybody make a play, but that's our fifth time technically making that play on game day. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to build up those practice reps.
And it's dope sitting here with you, because last time we were in the studio, you had just signed. You had just got drafted, dream fulfilled. And we didn't know what to expect, right? You didn't know what to expect. I think last time me and you actually got the rap interview form was on Media Day.
Yeah.
Still haven't really done much on the field, man. Has anything surprised you since we last spoke?
Man, I wouldn't say much surprised me, because, football is football. Yeah. But, I just think being here is just a really cool experience, man. I'm blessed. And, it's just been a really fun journey just to get to this point. But, we just at the beginning of it.
What have you learned the most about yourself? Because it's easy to dream and say, hey, I want to get to this point. But once you get there, you really got to put in that work. You start to learn some things that maybe you didn't know about the league and all that, man. What have you learned about yourself?
One thing my pops, he's been telling me since I was in high school, but he just say, you belong, man. Just kind of just breathing that life into me. And, I always felt that way, but it's like in my mind, I always not doubted myself, but I was always like uber hard on myself, like, dang, like, I got to make that play, this and that, what I'm saying? But, I've come to kind of give myself some grace, like, man, I've put in the work, I've done a lot of stuff, and I can make plays, and, I belong, and, I can help this team win.
It's one thing for like your pops to tell you like, hey, you belong. But when you're human, right? Like it's hard to get past that imposter syndrome sometimes. Did you have a moment, whether it was in the game, whether it was at practice, or just being in this building, where you said, oh yeah, nah, I belong?
I don't know there's a specific moment, but I just think, that confidence obviously comes from working and making plays on the field. But like when the older guys, when the vets kind of are continue to breathe that life into you and, just speak positivity into you, like Debo, Terry, Zach Ertz. And, when they started doing that, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the, I'm here moment and, just keep working.
When you're playing with guys that you've been watching for years, right? Like Terry was right up the street. Everybody know who Debo Samuel is. Is it hard to be able to like remove yourself as the fan, as the football fan, and be able to articulate all the questions you have? Because I'm sure as soon as you see Debo, there's like a million questions that run through your head. How do I do this? How do I do this? How do you find ways to learn effectively from these guys? Because they're also putting that work in too.
Honestly, I think I got to give credit to them because honestly, of course, I got a lot of questions, but it's more so like there's been countless times Debo or Terry have pulled me to the side randomly, talk about a play, talk about a rep. And I didn't have to ask. Like, Terry does it literally almost every day. And I love that. I'm just I try to soak everything in and just learn as much as possible. So it's really on, like, thanks to them, because sometimes I can't articulate, like you said. It's hard to articulate everything I want to say, but, they do a good job just coaching me up even when they might think I do or don't need it.
Has it been tough being patient, right? Because you don't get to this position if you're not a star athlete pretty much your entire life. But now you're in a different role. Now you have to be a little patient. You have to wait for your moments, which we've seen you do very gracefully. But has had it been a little tough, right? Has it been kind of tough?
I wouldn't. I feel like in my mind, I've always kind of had that kind of like, I'm gonna wait and just wait my turn, and it's gonna come. I never want to try to force or anything like that. It just because they always say the ball finds energy, ball finds positivity. And so I don't want to bring any kind of negative energy or negative stuff to the table. And when, we all trying to eat, but, everybody going to eat at their right time.
And you were being patient and you waited. And all of a sudden, week 3, my boy gets a 90-yard return. Oh, my goodness. Before we talk about anything else, what's going through your mind in that moment? Is it as soon as that ball touches your hand, you said, oh, this one's going to be one of them ones? Or does it just... do you just black out in those moments?
Dude, it's like there's certain plays I can remember specifically.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. It's just like, it was a feeling. Obviously, I catch it and I see defenders coming, but, I make a move and hit the lane. Them boys built a crazy lane for me on that play, too. And when I saw the open field, it felt like slow motion from like the 40-yard line all the way to the end zone. So just kind of remembering that. It's a really cool moment, something I'm never going to forget for sure.
Definitely one of those welcome to the NFL moments, man. And it's funny, I get to watch the games with your boy B Mitch, and we've talked about it before, how y'all relationship is, how you reached out to him. I'm telling you, other than probably your pops, I don't know if there's somebody else more excited for you and your success in the building, man. I see you smile when I mention B. How special is that, man, to have guys like that in this building that care so much about you, that don't necessarily have to invest in you, but have invested in you?
Yeah, I remember it was probably a couple of days after I got drafted. My agent texted me. He was like, hey, man, B Mitch want to talk to you, this and that. And like, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And my pops, he's definitely going crazy. He's like, he trying to, like, I'm excited, but he trying to, like, tell me, bro, you need to be more excited about this.
Like, you don't realize who this is.
This is your Devin Hester. This is my, he just started talking like that. And then, me and B Mitch eventually link up when we get out here. And he's just been just kind of breathing positivity and just confidence into me. And, he coached me up on a couple of things, but, I know I was ready to see the text after that 90-yard. I knew he was gonna hit me up after the game, so it's been pretty cool.
Hey, you mind sharing what he said to you after that?
I ain't got my phone on me. I don't remember what he said, but man, it's just all positive, things. He's proud of me, and it's just the beginning.
And it's one thing to get love from your family. It's one thing to get love from the people in this building. Yeah. But the NFL recognized you for that play. Yeah. Rookie of the week, man. They do so many cool things in the NFL, and I think this Rookie of the Week thing that they've been able to do, they give you all a belt, right?
Yeah, the belt is a real belt,
it's too. A real,
it's heavy. Like, I'm like, I try to pick up the box, like, oh.
Let's go back to that moment, man. How did you find out? What was that like? And what did it mean to you, man?
Man, it means a lot. Shout out to all the Washington fans, because I know they made it happen with the voting and stuff like that. But when I found out, it was like, I really didn't even know. I think Bill was actually the first person to tell me. He said, congrats, fam. I said, on what? But then he told me, and then, they brought the belt to me like a couple of days later. But, it means a lot. It's a testament to, the guys on the team, the life they breathe into me, and just the work that we all put in.
Man, you still got a lot more to do, man. We can tell how hungry you are. And me and you were talking about before we got started. I said, yo, are you itching for that first touchdown? Would you like to share what you said to me?
Yeah, man. It's everybody want to get in the box. I'm always itching, but it's coming. Like I said, I'm gonna be patient. My time gonna come, and I'm gonna be ready for it.
When I talk to the young cats, man, and I ask them what they're learning from these veteran guys, most of them say that they're surprised to hear from the veterans about the recovery process, about taking care of your body. And our partners at Lansdowne Resort, they like to know that you spend your downtime wise. They want to know you getting it done on the field, but they also want to know you're spending downtime to take care of yourself. How does Jaylin Lane spend his downtime?
Man, if I'm not in a facility, man, I'm with my wifey. We go to the movies, love the movies, Top Golf, just things like that, man. On the game, you know, I don't be doing too much. Just if I'm not here, either working or recovering, I'm with the wifey chilling.
And I'm glad you mentioned wifey, man, because I see the ring on your finger. And last time we spoke, I don't think the ring was even there. I'm not completely sure. I think you got married.
Yeah,
since
I got
being
married
drafted, right?
in June.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a lot going on this year, man.
And how old are you, brother?
23.
You're 23 years old, man. You just get drafted to the NFL. Probably more money than you've ever seen. And you say as a young man, I want to get married, man. I want to commit myself to this woman, man. Why was that so important for you to do in that moment?
Man, it was extremely important to me. You know, we've been going since high school, so
are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Dang.
You know, we did the long distance thing, and you know, I knew she was the one for a minute. So you know, last July, I wanted to propose in a way where she wasn't going to expect it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's clean. It's not a long story, but
I mean, we got time to hear.
Yeah, look, I told it was around our almost 4-year anniversary or something like that, and we had never done a couple photo shoot. I was like, okay, come to campus and say I'm gonna set it up.
Yeah.
And she just thinking we're doing just a regular photo shoot. We never did one. And I told the photographer what I was trying to do. And the picture's on my Instagram if y'all want to see it. But you know, we went to the little Han Garden on Virginia Tech campus, proposed, and yeah, but thanks to her, she planned pretty much the whole wedding because we went through the season, then we had draft prep. Been a lot of stuff going on. So shout out to wifey, man. You're a trooper. I love you.
And shout out to wifey, man, because I wanted to mention that in closing because, like, I think people forget the support systems we need to be able to operate at this level, man. How special has it been being able to share this part of your journey with her? I mean, you shared so much with her, high school, college, man. How dope has it been able to share this part?
Man, it's real special. You know, like when I got drafted, everybody in there crying. It's just, you know, because I wouldn't be here without her, my family, just everybody who's been there the whole ride with me. So, you know, what I'm doing now is not just for me. It's for everybody I love and care about.
And everybody you love and care about will be watching you on Monday Night Football, prime time, baby, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. In closing, what can fans expect? Because you know they're going to show up and show out like they always do on the road. What can fans expect? Not only from Jaylin Lane, but the Commanders.
And, man, you know, we're going to come out with energy. We just going to continue to fight like we always do every week. And, you know, we're going to make it happen for y'all.
Definitely going to make it happen. Commanders family, our next man up, the rookie who's accomplishing so much, the married man, Jaylin Lane. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Marylanders. Play multi-match from the Maryland Lottery, Maryland's only in-state jackpot game. A $2 ticket gives you a chance to win a jackpot starting at $500,000. Drawings Mondays and Thursdays. And remember, please play responsibly. Now, they say your work defines who you are. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you are clocking in. But what happens on the weekend? What happens to your time? You could take it easy, or you could use your time to get better. In the U.S. Army, we think differently. Your time should be used to improve the skills you do have, to learn some you don't, to push yourself in new ways, because it's those days that truly define who you are. That's how you make progress. That's how you make impact on the world around you. It's your time. How you spend it is up to you. It's your time, the U.S. Army Reserve. Commanders family, back to the show. Commanders family, our next man up is one of the best to ever do it at the wide receiver position. 7th all time in receiving yards for Washington. A 2-time Super Bowl champion. Was the coldest route runner we probably seen in the burgundy and gold. Let me welcome in Ricky Sanders to Next Man Up. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good, Brian. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm blessed. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and kick it with us. It was crazy. Yeah. I've talked to every member of the posse. I work with Gary all the time. I got to speak to Art a few months ago. So you're the last member of the posse. So I was very, very excited to get to rap with you.
Yeah, that's the way they always put me at the end. So I'll make the great catch for them.
You the anchor. You're the person that they can rely on.
I'm the man when it's 4th and 5. That's called Rick.
Hey, man, there you go. See, so it's so funny, like, because me and you haven't got to meet. This is our first time, like, meeting virtually. You know, I didn't know what to expect from Gary when I met him, but right away I could tell. Brother got all the confidence in the world.
Oh
Then
man.
I meet Art Monk, and he's very like stoic and very chill. It
Oh
seems
yeah.
like you got like the best of both worlds with them. Is that true?
That's definitely it, man. You know, I got some of Gary, got some of Art, and man, that Gary, he feel like he could do anything.
And I'm sure all of you guys have that in some sense, and it's why you guys were so
Oh,
good. And we're going to talk about all of that. But much like Gary, and me and Gary did this as well when we spoke, I want to start at the beginning because you all had different starts to your careers than most people. You
yeah.
as well, just like Gary, started in the USFL.
hmm
When you go back to that, when you go back to a young Ricky Sanders that was going through that in real time, what was that like for you, and what did you get out of the USFL?
Yeah, got some experience. You know, I was a running back at Texas State. You know, I was a running back in high school, and then I went to Texas State, and I was a running back, and we won 2 national championships there. But then when I went to the USFL and was playing with Jim Kelly, you know, we was throwing the ball all. They moved me to a slot receiver, kind of like a running back slot, and that's where I got all my experience right there. You know, catching the ball from Jim Kelly and learning from other receivers like Richard Johnson, Gerald McNeil. You know, we had a whole group of guys that was great. So that's where, you know, it started.
When you're in the USFL, is the goal always, hey, I'm going to be an NFL player? Was that a means to an end, if you will, playing for the USFL, or did you not even realize that you were working your way towards the league?
Oh, I wanted to be in the NFL. You know, I wanted to win a Super Bowl. You know, growing up, I was a big Cowboy fan because I'm
Ugh.
from Texas, and I wanted, you know, I wanted to win the Super Bowl because I, you know, used to watch it. You know, all the guys, you know, Tony Dorsett and all those guys, you know, win Super Bowls. I say, that's what I want to do. You know, and it just, you know, God was good to me, and He's still good. So, you know, just had a good time.
Where did that love of football start for Ricky Sanders?
Ooh, way back.
Mm.
I probably, wow, probably about 5, 6 years old. I was out, you know, playing with the big guys, you know, and they couldn't tackle me, they couldn't catch me. You know, I had that speed. So that's where it started back in my little small town of Belton with 8,000 people there. So had a good, I had a lot of guys that were good role models, man, that played sports, basketball, you know, track and all that. So I learned a lot from those guys.
When you're from a small community like that, right? 8,000 people is not a lot of people. When you're a small town
Mm-mm.
kid, sometimes it's hard to see those big dreams, right? To see past a couple
Yeah.
streets ahead, right? To see past a state away. When did you realize that professional football was going to be a real thing for you and not just a dream, but something you could truly accomplish?
Well, you know, like I said, when I got to college and we had the success there, that's when I started really focusing on, you know, trying to get better. And, you know, we had some good times back in my college, you know, and I didn't want to wait for the draft. That's why I went to the USFL. I wanted to, you know, get in there and get some experience. And that's how it happened.
And then a Cowboys fan ends up going to
Yeah,
Washington.
I know it.
What was that like? Was it even a question? Because again, you trying to get in the NFL any way you can. But was that
uh,
kind of like a crazy full circle moment for you to be like, I root against these guys my entire life. Now I'm
yeah,
playing for them.
I know it. It's tough. You know, when I left the USFL, I had first round in supplemental draft with New England and went up there, never practiced with them, and took a physical. The next day, the general manager said, "Hey, Rick, we just had a scrimmage against the uh, Redskins, and I got some good news and bad news. Which one do you want?" So I was like, he said, "We just drafted 2 receivers, Irvin Fryer and some other guy," and he said, "And they look good out there. So we're going to trade you to Washington Redskins because they need a third receiver. You got Art Monk, Gary Clark. They want another receiver." And I was like, "Great." That's when they wasn't winning any games. They was losing like crazy. So it was exciting to get back. I mean, to get to Washington.
Were there any nerves as a young man knowing you're going into a wide receiver room with guys that are just so talented, right? They're saying we need a third receiver. A lot of times, you've been the star athlete your whole life. A
Yeah,
lot of people want to take that third seat. They want to be in that front seat. What was that
yeah,
like for you knowing that you were going to be playing alongside guys like Art and Gary?
yeah. I just knew, we was gonna, because when I got out there to Washington, we start practicing in Carlisle. I just had a good feeling that the three of us we're going to do something. With Art, big man, he could muscle his way through. Gary is quicker than a cat, and then I was a man going deep, catching those deep balls and then sometimes running those routes, for first downs. But hey, I wasn't worried about, being the third man because I knew I was going to step up.
And you definitely had confidence in yourself, and it worked, right? Because
Yeah.
it was kind of a slow start for you. You had to earn your way. I was talking to Gary yesterday, and he told me it was like 1 second we're running the ball all the time. It's just two wide receiver sets, and then we turn, and all of a sudden now we're spread because we have to get Ricky Sanders on the field. When you're going through that prove it process, right? When you're coming from the USFL, trying to make a name for yourself, you just got traded to Washington. You're trying to get every rep you can. What was that like for a young Ricky Sanders? And do you remember how hard it was competing every day to just get a chance to be on the field?
Oh man, it was rough because everybody out there, well, great athletes, and had had a lot of talent. So I was mostly focusing on just being the best that I could be. Get out there and show them what I got, and just just put all I have on the table and just go for it.
That's easier said than done, right? Like, I'm sure
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
trials and tribulations to having that mindset and going through that in real time. How were Art and Gary in helping you find that comfortability, helping you learn how to be a true pro?
Oh man, Art he was the master at it, because during the off season, I used to work out with him and Daryl Green and Gary. We all used to go out to George Mason and work out. And just, that guy was dedicated to the game, dedicated, to his family and dedicated to his God. So it was easy to follow in this, to follow with him, and Gary was the same. We were roommates when I first got there. We had our apartment together, and it was the, the two of us together. It was like, whoa, whoa.
I can see the memories flashing in your head right now of those
Yeah.
times, and I'm sure some things you'll choose not to share.
But we studied playbooks together.
Amen. Amen. That's how the story's gonna tell. That's how the history books are gonna tell. Y'all was studying playbooks.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, man, I had some good times there in Washington, man. The fans were excellent, man. The people there, they welcomed me in, and it was beautiful. The only thing I didn't like was those winters going up there at 15 degrees. I'm like, whoa, that was rough practicing in that cold weather, especially coming from Texas where it's heat and humidity. I'm like, whoa.
You see, I got this hoodie on in October,
I'm
so it's
saying,
already coming. That cold weather's here,
I
and
know it.
it's cool.
It's still 94 degrees here.
Hey, don't rub it in, Ricky. Don't rub
I
it in,
know.
man. We struggling over here, man. And Ricky, it's funny when I talk to all three of you all, even other people like Brian Mitchell who are on these teams. They mention the practices. They mentioned the practices being like real games, the
Oh, yeah.
intensity, the competition behind it. Can you speak to that a little bit and what that did to set you guys up for Super Bowl success?
Yeah. Joe Gibbs was all about uh, practicing hard and making it live out there in the practice like it's going to be a game day, 1-on-1. I'm out there going against a Hall of Famer, Daryl Green, and Vernon Dean and all these guys, and it was battle. There was no playing around. It was battle. So, when you have a coach like Joe Gibbs and his staff, man, that was easy to play for him because he was fair and he's going to put you in a position to win and be successful.
What was it like knowing you're going into practice and knowing you're going to be lining up across from a Darryl Green? One of the best to ever do it. Has the speed, has the size. What was that like for young Ricky Sanders, knowing that you were going to be able to sharpen that iron against some more iron?
It, it was fun, man, because I already knew Darryl. We were in the same conference. I went to Texas State or Southwest Texas, what it was called. He went to Texas A&I. We were in the same division, and he always joke about. We played one game and we did a flea flicker, and they threw it to me, and I was running down the sideline. And he was coming. He said, "Man, oh, I was going to get you." They called a penalty before. He said, "Hey, I was going to go get you." I was like, "Man, you wasn't going to catch me."
It is funny, man. You guys just smile and have so many great memories. I don't hear many negatives at all from those times. And it's hard to have negatives when you're winning 2 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, I ask every multi-Super Bowl champ, do you
Mhm.
have a favorite Super Bowl? Is that like picking against one of your kids?
Oh, and the one against Denver, when I had 100, I had 10 catches, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, uh, catching the ball from Doug Williams, the first Black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. That that memory will always be in my mind. And the second one was beautiful too. With Mark Rippon, smart quarterback, could throw that ball, and it's just I've been blessed to be with some good, talented people.
And you mentioned Doug Williams, and it seems like, at least when I go back and look, that there was a special connection between you two. Doug Williams had a trust and belief in you, especially
Mhm.
during those big moments like that,
Yeah,
that you don't really see often. Like with him having all of these different weapons, for some reason, something about you two, there was that special connection. Can you talk to that?
yeah, because Doug played in the USFL, and we came to Washington the same time, and he was a backup quarterback, and every time we go one on one, Doug and I, that's why we always battle against Darryl because he always thought he could, you know, uh, intercept Doug's pass, but we just had a connection, man. We came in the same time, and I mean, I guess he loved throwing the ball to me. Gary always said, "Hey, yeah." When he see Doug, there's your favorite receiver over there. Yeah. I'm like, "Hey, man, I paid him."
It's so funny to think of you guys being so close, being 3 receivers to have
Mhm.
over 1,000 yards in a season together, and
Yeah.
you guys all being such competitors. Because to this day, you can just
Uh-huh.
see all that competitive nature in Gary. I could hear it from you today, man.
Yeah.
That brotherhood that you all have is so, so special, and we'll get to see it in a few weeks when Art
Mhm.
Monk's jersey is retired. I know
Yeah.
that's something that is truly special to everybody that bleeds burgundy and gold, but something that was truly, truly special to not only Art, but you and Gary as well, because you guys have that posse bond, man. How awesome is it going to be able to see his jersey get retired and be a
Oh,
part of that
man.
moment and even be a part of getting to tell him when he found out?
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. When we got to his house and surprised him. He was up there. He said, "Man, I almost cussed." We all come through the door. He was like, "What?" But just to be a part of this with him, and Gary, the posse together, it's going to be exciting.
And when you think of a guy like Art Monk, and you think of him being that mentor to you, like you said, right? Like that guy that really
Mhm.
showed you how to play a game. Like Gary would say it as well. Like Art was who you wanted to tell your kids to be like.
Oh
You might have
yeah,
wanted them to play like me and Ricky, but you wanted them to be the man
be the
that
man.
Art Monk was,
Yeah.
man. How true is that statement? And how do you feel about not only the player of Art Monk, but the man?
Oh man, he's a great guy, man. Good man, a good father, good grandfather, uh, good friend. And one thing about him, he loved his God. He loved Jesus. So I mean, he's quiet, but then he has some kind of power in him that just you love about him. Yeah, he's a good man.
Yes, he is. And he'd say the same about you, Ricky. A great man,
Okay.
accomplished so many things on that field. Again, 7th all time in
Yeah.
receiving yards. When you look back, when it's all said and done, right?
Mhm.
How do you want Ricky Sanders' legacy to be remembered?
That he was a good person. He played hard. He was a team player. He loved his family. He loved his kids, and he loved the Lord. That's yeah. Not perfect, but I love him.
and nobody is perfect, Ricky, but we're all trying our best, right? And thank
That's
you so
all
much
we
for
can
taking the
do.
time to join us. And I have to ask you one more question before you go,
Mhm.
because you mentioned Doug Williams, you mentioned these quarterbacks you got to play with. Well, now we
Mhm.
have a very, very special young man
Ooh,
that's following Doug Williams' footsteps, following those other quarterbacks' footsteps in
oh, yeah.
Jaden Daniels. What have you seen from the young quarterback that makes you feel like just maybe we're back
Mhm.
to those Super Bowl era days?
I know it. I I just turned 65.
Happy birthday. Happy
My
birthday.
kid, yeah, September 30th,
Okay.
and I was walking my dog, and I was like, man, if I work out a little harder, I might be able to go catch some balls from old Jake. I might be able to do some third down for him, man. He's incredible, boy. That boy. Every time I see him, he's just so cool, and then the attitude he had out there when he's just smiling, and you could tell he loved the game. And I would love to be playing with him. He's a good player, a great player, and if he stay healthy, they're gonna do some great things. And I wish them all the luck in the world and all the blessings.
Just like y'all did, man, doing some great things. And it's so funny. Gary says the same thing. Tanner says the same thing. As y'all watch Jaden,
Oh
it's just
yeah.
like, man, I can get one ball from him. I can help out a little
Yeah.
bit. And that's just so cool to
I could
see
give
the
him
love
a
y'all have for
5-yard
him.
route. That's about it.
I believe you still got a little something left to take, Ricky. Thank you so much for taking the
Oh,
time
yeah.
to pull up on us, man. Maybe sometime in the summer when it's not cold, you can
Yeah.
pull up to Ashburn and come to the studio and kick it with us.
Oh, that sounds like a deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Commanders family, our next man up. One of the
All
best
right.
wide receivers to ever do it. The last and final member of the posse to join Next Man Up. We're so grateful to have him.
Yeah.
Our guy,
Hey.
Ricky Sanders. Thank you, sir.
All right. Appreciate it, bro.
Commanders family, we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Next Man Up. You can stream all of the Next Man Up episodes, even last season's, on the Commanders YouTube page, or stream the audio wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate the love so much. We will see y'all Monday night for some primetime action against the Chicago Bears. Make sure to do what y'all do best. Show up and show out for our Commanders. Until next week, this is Next Man Up. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr.